Welcome back, trainers, and we have some news regarding the next research breakthrough for the month of September and November. As you can see by the image here, it is going to be Flower Crown Eevee with the possibility of it being shiny. Now, when you do collect these Pokemon through the research breakthrough, the IVs are going to be at least decent, so you have the possibility of getting a shiny Flower Crown Eevee with good IVs. Therefore, you can evolve it into any form you choose. Now, we're going to be going over all of the name tricks as well, if you haven't done so, and how you can go about evolving all of these Eevee evolutions. Now, a few of them, once you have done the name trick, you're kind of just out of luck, and you're just going to have to get random evolutions regarding Vaporeon, Jolteon, and Flareon. You can control the Espeon and Umbreon, as well as the Leafeon and Glaceon. The Leafeon and Glaceon are going to cost some Pokecoins, but you're also in luck if you have saved your new lure modules from the mythical breakthrough, which is going to be Jirachi. They did give you one mossy, glacial, and magnetic lure, in which you can use that mossy and glacial lure to evolve the Leafeon and Glaceon, as well as the name trick if you have not done so. Like I said, we're going to be going over all of those. So take a look at the IVs for the CP range. When you do collect this at 1 p.m., make sure you do not collect it sooner than that and wait for the announcement, because people have done it and they have received the previous month's breakthrough, and it's just kind of throws them all off, even though they were saving their breakthrough for that specific time. Now, I know, what do you want this for over the Kyogre, Latios, and Latias, and Groudon possibly shiny? But hey, you never know. Some people just like the Flower Crown Eevee, so let's get into the information here. Alright, so before we get into all of the Eevee name tricks, I'm going to show you a little trick so you can actually see if you've done it or not. So I did name this one Linnea, and I have yet to actually evolve into Leafeon with the name trick. I've done everything else though. So it does give me the option clearly to evolve into Leafeon. As you can see, the image is lit up and it is ready to go without any sort of mossy lure or any other technique. Well, that's pretty much the only way is the mossy lure for specifically the Leafeon there. So if you want to know if you use that specific name trick yet, then once we get to these, go ahead and type it in for your Eevee to see if you've actually done it, if you forgot or not. So just wanted to show you that if the name is available, you will clearly see the Eevee evolution that it should evolve into for that specific name. All right, so we are over here on the Go Hub. Let's go ahead and take a look at all of the naming tricks. Now, if you simply evolve an Eevee without being under a specific lure or walking at a specific amount of kilometers, it's simply going to evolve into Jolteon, Flareon, or Vaporeon. Simple as that. And the naming trick is only going to work one time per evolution, so keep that in mind. Now, if you name your Pokemon Rainer, it will evolve into Vaporeon. And then if you name it Sparky, it will evolve into Jolteon. Pyro will go into Flareon. Remember, those only work one time. Now, if you want to evolve into Espeon, you're going to have to name it Sakura. And as simple as that. Otherwise, you're going to have to walk it 10 kilometers, earn 2 candies, and then evolve it during the daytime. Now, how do you know it's day or night in Pokemon Go? Well, it's either going to be day with, bright, or nighttime is going to turn dark. There is no specific time set. It just really depends upon when it becomes dark in your game or light. Simple as that. So Sakura is going to be Espeon. Tamao is going to be Umbreon, all right? If you want to just simply evolve it without walking those kilometers and you have not used that name trick already. Linnea is going to be for Leafeon. Rea is going to be for Glaceon. Now, another thing to take note of, you don't have to necessarily go to the shop and purchase those specific mossy and glacial lures. You can get it through the Jirachi quest, but if you've already used those, then yes, you're going to have to use the name trick. And also keep in mind, if you do see somebody else dropping a mossy or glacial lure, you do not have to actually use one yourself. You can actually go to that specific one, be within spinning range, and simply evolve an Eevee to become a Glaceon or Leafeon, depending upon which lure that specific person did drop. So yes, they can be shared, which is very nice. If they couldn't, that'd be absolutely ridiculous. And then moving on down here, like we just went over, if you're trying to actually get another Espeon and Umbreon without using the name trick, you've already done so, but you want more, you're going to have to walk those 10 kilometers. Make sure you earn those candies, and I recommend you restart your phone, because a lot of people have actually done that, evolved it, and they've gotten a Jolteon, Flareon, or Vaporeon, which would be absolutely devastating after walking all of those kilometers there. So make sure you do that and keep it as your buddy, because you're going to have to do that if you want to evolve it into whatever you're trying to do for nighttime or day, Espeon or Umbreon. Simple as that. Alright trainers, now that we went over all of the Eevee evolutions and how to get each one, let's go ahead very briefly here and see where they do land as far as usability. We're not going to be going over PvP. I'm just going to tell you straight up right now for PvP, what do you want as far as the Great League goes? Well, you want an Umbreon, but you need last resort, unfortunately. So we're going to skip the whole PvP deal and just talk about going up against raids and gyms. So starting it off with a bang here, one of my favorites, well, probably my favorite Eevee evolution, and that is going to be Flareon. Let's see where it lands. So we have Blaziken at the top with Fire Spin and Blast Burn sitting at 17.2 DPS. And then if we go down a few spots here, there's another Blaziken. So Flareon would technically be taking that number 4 spot with Fire Spin and Overheat sitting at 15.7, outperforming Entei as well. Pretty amazing because, well, Flareon is that good. So there you have it. Pretty decent as far as going up against raids. All right, now taking a look at the water type Pokemon. So that's going to be Vaporeon. And we are over here on Game Press taking a look at spreadsheets. And I did put in these specific numbers, or should I say words, right? So water type. I will leave a link in the description so you can check this out yourself. Anyways, we see Kingler at the top with 16.9, and then Kyogre technically the better water type user because it's going to have a lot longer survivability in those battles, sitting at 15.9. So moving down here, going to take us into the second page. See, Vaporeon's more of a tank, but that's perfectly fine. It is decent, sitting at 12.6. I mean, it's not horrible. It's got the tankiness to it that TDO is a little bit higher than the other Pokemon around it with Water Gun and Hydro Pump. All right, now for the electric, that's going to be Jolteon here. It's not going to be in the first page. Let's go ahead and move down. I saw it down there. I just wanted to see what was at the top. So there you have it, sitting with Discharge and Thundershock, 14.0 DPS. As far as a good electric type user, I mean, it's not horrible, that's for sure, but there is other Pokemon, as you can see here, that are going to be outperforming it. This is page 2. If we go back to page 1 here, go up, we do have Electivire, Raikou, Zapdos. The top electric attacker is going to be Electivire and Raikou, sitting at 16 DPS. And then if we look at the Jolteon, it's going to be sitting at 14. So a pretty significant gap there. But, you know, like I said earlier, if you like to use this Pokemon, I mean, feel free. All right, now for Psychic, we're going to actually skip Umbreon because that thing is good, like I said, for PvP, and possibly if you have one powered up, if you want to drop it in a gym, sure, why not? But as far as using it as an attacker to go up against raids or gyms, it's not good. It's not good, so just don't even try to use it. I'm just going to tell you that right now. It's more of a tanky bulk Pokemon. So Espeon here, Psychic type Pokemon. We're sitting pretty, I mean, it's not pretty low on the list. There's several others with duplicates above it. We have Azelf and Mewtwo with 3, and then as well as Alakazam, and then Espeon with Confusion and Future Sight. I'm going to tell you now, it has helped me out quite a bit in the past going up against Machamps. Before, we had tons of Mewtwo's and a bunch of other Psychic type Pokemon that are now coming into the game. Espeon did stand by my side and help me take out those Machamps with a fury of Future Sights, right? So we have 15.6 DPS for the Espeon, and then the Deoxys, I mean, I'm going to rule out Deoxys. We're going to just go down to the Confusion, Psy Strike, Mewtwo sitting at 17.0. And, I mean, it's not that big of a gap between Espeon and Mewtwo. It's a reasonable amount, but, you know, that is a legendary. You're going to have a ton of resources, plus Psy Strike Mewtwo's not even out yet. But when it does come in, you know, obviously we're all going to have access to it. But Espeon is a fantastic attacker. Up next, we have Ice. So we have some good news here because Glaceon is actually fantastic. As you can see, multiple times appearing on this list here. We have Mamoswine with Powder Snow and Avalanche sitting at 16.6 at the top. Then we have Weavile with Ice Shard and Avalanche, 15.3. Then Glaceon with Frost Breath and Avalanche, 15.0. And then Ice Shard Avalanche. This thing is actually fairly good. So the shiny variants, not too much difference, but that's okay. It doesn't, you know, when it comes down to shinies, do they do more damage? I'm gonna tell you a really big secret that a lot of people don't know, guys. I mean, this is hidden knowledge. All right, shiny Pokemon, as a matter of fact, 1 million times, yes, do more damage. I'm just joking. They don't. I mean, it's it's all in your head. Anyways, yeah. So Glaceon is looking pretty good. Frost Breath and Avalanche is the moveset that you're going to want to have. And look at that. I mean, it's speaking for itself there as far as the stats are concerned. All right, now taking a look at the final one here, we have Grass. So Shaman, Skyform, Roserade, of course, is the only, it's the top grass attacker currently because Shaman's not in the game. Then we have Sceptile, Breloom, Roserade again with Solar Beam this time instead of Grass Knot, Venusaur with Vine Whip and Frenzy Plant. That's what I'm talking about. Torterra with Razor Leaf and Frenzy Plant. That Community Day is going to be coming up next. Sceptile, Bullet Seed, and Leaf Blade. Another Shaman. And let's see where Leafeon's going to be landing. Down there. All right, with Razor Leaf and Leaf Blade sitting at 13.9. So it's not horrible. Let's see what the top one is going to be holding other than Shaman. That's Roserade with 15. So, I mean, Leafeon isn't far behind, honestly. So if you need a unique grass team, Leafeon is definitely going to be something you should call upon for that grass power. All right, trainers, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. And before we go here, let's go ahead and look up my Eevees. There is one more thing to note, and that is going to be the Community Day. It did receive Last Resort, fairly nice. So what I like to drop in a gym here is my Confusion Last Resort Espeon. Now, like we went over, Umbreon is not going to really be too useful in PvP unless it did have Last Resort. The reason why is because if you did go up against another dark type Pokemon, dark moves are not going to be very effective to other dark types. But if you did have Last Resort, you will have another option to at least do neutral damage, and Last Resort hits fairly hard in PvP. Now, unfortunately, I did not make an Umbreon in the Great League. I did trade somebody else, and I did have one of my own sitting at about 1507. Really unfortunate that it was just a few points above the Great League with Last Resort. So hopefully we do have that coming around again, in which case you really may want to hold on to specific Eevees that are at specific levels so you can get those into the Great League. Mostly Umbreon here, but it would be nice to have every single one in the Great League with the Last Resort. Even with Leafeon and Glaceon, seeing that they were not out when this specific Community Day did come around here. So that would be pretty nice. Just a little food for thought. All right, trainers. And before I let you go, one more thing. We have a few pins that we need to take a look at. As you can see, the red Vengar. Fantastic. This is actually where I record all my videos. And I still have these packs that I need to open up, as well as this little deal here. So all my badges from the tournaments and a few cards, I just throw them there. So these pins are actually going to be done by Goozy Pins. I will have a link in the description because these are some really quality pins. And now available, we do have the Mewtwo Thanos armor. Take a look at the glove, how detailed it is. It's just amazing. It's a pretty massive pin, as you can see, compared to the other ones here. It does have a couple of pins in the back, so it's not going to be uneven when you put it on things. And then I was lucky enough to get the red Vengar today. Thank you so much, Goozy Pins, for all of these. And then, of course, if you want to order my pin, nice and snazzy, take a look at that. Pretty clean, and it brings shiny luck. Just a little heads up there. It does glow in the dark as well. So with that said, trainers, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Take a look at that very nice sparkly Valor one as well. Nice gold there. So really enjoying these pins. I'm really excited for this shiny Vengar here. Looks fantastic. That is a rare pull, so pretty psyched about that. And then, of course, the new addition, the Poké pin. So anyways, thanks for watching, trainers, and I'll be catching you all next time. Take care.